Hey everyone, welcome back. So recently I shared some of my favorite glossy lip tints that is a must-have in my collection, and I also shared my favorite shade. And today I'm going to be sharing with you my favorite matte lip tints slash shades from each collection. Some of these I don't have my favorite shade, but I will be talking briefly about it. I realized that I do wear mattes more in the fall and winter, so you'll see more of browns and purples, a little bit of pink. Obviously it was very hard to choose, so I'll also share some additional shades as well. Before I do start, throughout the video I'm going to be using Peripera's lip brush. I use this in some of my videos and I've gotten a lot of questions asking what it is, but yeah, just so you know, it's Peripera's lip brush. Unfortunately, I don't think it's available outside of Korea. I know that it's part of a kit. Starting first, we're going in with lip pencils, and the first product is Women's Lip Mate Pencil. This is in the shade 5 Taupey shade. A lot of good shades from this collection. I do use number 5 Taupey shade a lot. They sort of have this gray brown color. It's not too light and dark enough for my natural beige skin tone. This is actually a lip contouring shade, so it's really good to apply on your cupid's bow and under your lips to add a little bit of some shadows. This really helps your lips to pop a bit. It's a really nice matte pout finish. One end you have the shade, and on the other side is a brush to blend it out. It actually works really good. It's very soft and flexible, blends the product really well. For this formula, it does seem to have more of a semi-matte finish. You do have a few seconds to blend it with the brush. Works really well. Once it settles on the lips, it's going to transfer slightly, but it's still going to stay on your lips overall. A lot of lip pencils came out over the past few years, but this has got to be one of my favorites because it's not drying, it's very moisturizing, very soft and creamy on the lips when you apply it. Creates very smooth lines and very easy to blend as well. Has a really good stain. Taupey shade is for lip contouring, but for the other shades that you use on your lips as a lip liner, it works really well with other lip products as well, glossy or matte finishes. So I'm keeping Women's Lip Mate Pencil on, and I'm just adding the next product, which is Clio's Velvet Lip Pencil. This is in the shade number 2 Peach Beige. Like the name says, you sort of have this peach beige color, and it does more like a vanilla brown color with peach undertones. This is also one of my favorite lip pencils. This is a velvet lip pencil, so the formula has this velvet-like texture. Very soft and creamy when you apply on the lips. Because it is a velvet formula, it's a lot more creamy and soft than Romance. It does transfer more easily. It does have a slight stain the more that you leave it on your lips and you don't touch it. However, it is easier to blend, easier to blur. It creates very beautiful and smooth, seamless lines. It's not drying, it's very moisturizing. If you like the formula for Peripera's Ink Velvet, I definitely would recommend this as a lip liner. Very similar, creamy formula, just in a stick version. On top of that, we're going to be applying our first lip product. This is Bia's Last Powder Lipstick in number 7 Ginger. This lip tint has been in one of my favorites video, and I am obsessed with this shade color. We have a caramel brown shade color, slightly pink undertones, but overall it's going to look more brown. I usually like to use it as a base color, but also as a full look. It looks very flattering as well. A little sneak peek for everyone who is waiting for a vanilla cream dupe video, but I believe this came out before vanilla cream, which is on top and ginger is on bottom. It can be a little bit drying, which is a little bit downside, so definitely do make sure that you prep your lips well beforehand. I think that's probably the only downside of this. Other than that, the stain is not bad. It lasts up to 2 to 3 hours eating and drinking. It looks very small and petite, but there's actually a lot of product in this. It does have a slight creme-like scent, but it's not overwhelming. Next up is another lipstick. We have Romance Zero Matte Lipstick in 21 Smoked Beige, and it's been out on the market for a few years now. Very beautiful and flattering MLBB shade. Very good to use as a base as well as a full look, and also in your cheeks as well. The biggest advantage of this product is the formula. For lipsticks, they can be very drying. When I came across this product, it was like love at first sight. It had such a good first impression on me. The formula is amazing. This is my number 1 favorite lipstick. It's so creamy. It has a semi-velvety finish. Glides onto your lips so well and just creates such a beautiful and soft blurred-like finish. If you prefer that, it gives a very beautiful gradient look. Very easy to blend, very easy to blur. So moisturizing on your lips. It doesn't dry my lips at all, and it just keeps them moisturized all day. The stain is also quite good. You can go 4 to 5 hours depending on eating and drinking. Really easy to reapply. If you're looking for a lipstick product and you want something moisturizing with a good stain, I highly recommend this. Yes, definitely worth it. Very beautiful shade color as well. This has a very mild stain you can barely smell. Next up we have Bia's Last Velvet Tint. This is in the shade 42, So Good Fig. We have this purple brown shade. As you know, I've been obsessed with purple brown shades. This is one of Bia's best-selling lip product. It's definitely worth the hype. You have a creamy velvety finish. So on the lips, it does fill in the wrinkles slightly on to give you that semi-blurred like finish, but it looks so pretty. A little bit similar to the Zero Matte lipstick, however it's not a lipstick version. For this formula, it's not thick, it's actually quite lightweight. It has this like buttery velvet type of texture. I blurred it on my hand and it's so easy to blur. It is quite easy to move the product around, but once you blend it out, it should be okay. Glides on the lips very smoothly. Blur has a really nice stain, similar to Romance, up to 4 to 5 hours eating and drinking. Next up is Peripera's Ink Mood Matte Tint. This is in the shade 15 Acorn Brown. We have a classic brown color. There's no orange or red or coral in this. Overall, it's going to look like a brown color. If you are into Peripera's Brown Heaven, I would say this is the matte version of that. There are a few brown shades in the Korean market like Acorn Brown, which is so beautiful and flattering for my natural beige skin tone. I like that it doesn't have any orange or red in it. Out of all the products today, this is probably top 5 for being the lightest. However, it's very creamy, very easy to blend and blur. Because it's a little bit more lightweight and creamy, it does smudge easily. However, it's really good to create a blurred-like effect or that gradient look. It's really easy to control the color. For the scent, it does have a slight shea butter scent, so I would keep that in mind. Very creamy, very moisturizing, really nice stain, up to 3 to 4 hours. Moving on to pinks, we have Peripera's Over Blur Tint. This actually recently came out. This is in the shade number 4, Coral Lala. One of my favorite shades for spring and summer this season. You have a mauve pink color with slight coral undertones. Gives a very nice brightening effect. I do prefer the gradients look of this more than the full look. However, this is really good to use as a base color, but also as the full look. I also use this as a blush and it looks really good as well. It's very easy to blend and blur. It does dry out fast, so you do have a few seconds to blend it out before it settles onto the lips. With that said, it does have a good stain as well, up to 4 to 5 hours or even more depending on eating and drinking. I'm going to be reviewing it later, but it's very similar to Romance Blur Fudge Tint. It's less thick than the Blur Fudge, I'd say by 50%. However, it still does have a semi-thick formula. Very soft and moisturizing. If you find that for Romance Blur Fudge Tint is a little bit too heavy for you, I definitely do recommend Peripera's. It's not mask proof, but it does have a really good stain like I mentioned earlier. And for the scent, it does have a slight floral scent. However, it's quite mild. It's also similar to Romance in that it fills in the wrinkles of your lips pretty well to give that nice blurred-like effect. It creates a very beautiful matte canvas on the lips and just looks very beautiful and seamless. Next up, we have Peripera's Ink Airy Velvet. This is in the shade 29 What Are You Fake MLBB Pink Brown shade. Very good to wear as an everyday lip color. Probably know about the formula, but it has a very nice velvety finish. Very lightweight and very soft. As long as you prep well beforehand, it's very moisturizing. It feels like marshmallow on your lips. It's very cloudy. Just feels so soft. A lot of good shades from this collection as well. It does have a good stain as well. Formula does smell a little bit sweet, so I'll keep that in mind. Next up is similar packaging. We have Peripera's Ink Velvet. This is in the shade 40 Con Rosy. This is a pink purple shade. It's very MLBB. This is the matte version of Bare Grape. You can see the very similar magnificent shade. For this formula, it's very creamy and moisturizing on the lips. It does transfer quite easily because of how creamy it is, but it has a really good stain. Up to 5 to 6 hours depending on eating and drinking. It's really easy to blend, really easy to blur, really easy to create a gradient to look. Next up, we have Etude's Fixing Tint on number 6, Dusty Beige. Again, we have another purple brown shade. It does look a little bit more purple with less brown in it, and I also do like to use this as my blush as well. It's a hit or miss because it might look a little bit too pale. For my natural beige skin tone, it looks very flattering. Again, you probably know about this formula. It does have a watery formula and then it dries matte. You'll see in the transfer swatch, I didn't wait for it to dry, so it did transfer quite a bit. But it is mask proof. Very easy to blend, very easy to blur, easy to build its color, very long lasting. This can last up to 8 hours. One of the best stains out of all the matte lip tints today. I also do like Vanilla Cream from this collection. I also do like Baked Pecan as well, which is at the bottom, and Dusty Beige is on top. You can see it's a little bit more purple. Baked Pecan is more of a pink brown color. Can look a little bit rosy under some certain lightings, but I do use Dusty Beige more, so I decided to stick with that. Midnight Mauve is also a really good shade. Woody Pink is also a good shade, Vanilla Cream, Rose Latte. Because it has a watery formula, it's really good to apply on your cheeks as well. For the scent, it does have a shea butter slash creme-like scent. Next up, we have Romance Blur Fudge Tint. This is in the shade number 6, Mauvish. Again, for this collection, there's a lot of good shades, but I do use Mauvish more. It's also a purple shade, but it's more of a mauvey purple shade. It's more bright as well. This formula is the most thick, so it can feel a little bit thick on the lips. However, very easy to blend, very easy to blur, very easy to build up the color. It's also mask proof as well. You do have to wait about 10 minutes for it to dry. for it to be completely mask proof. I didn't wait 10 minutes for it to dry to do the lip swatch test, so you see that it is translucent, but it has a very good stain on the lips. It also has a very nice blurred like effect on the lips, so it veils all the wrinkles of your lips pretty well. Beautiful shades in this collection as well. I have Rose at the bottom and Pomoloco on top. Hopefully you're still watching this video, but last but not least, we have Cleo's Dewy Blurred Tint. This is in the shade 3 Afterlight Pink. This is actually not my favorite shade. 6, 7 from this collection are some of my favorite shades. Number 5 Caramel Pumpkin is probably my favorite. Unfortunately, I can't swatch it because I did run out of it. And then Nude Breeze, and then Cozy Peach. Caramel Pumpkin is sort of this beige, sort of this light pink beige color. It's very MLBB. I usually like to use it when I'm just running errands or I want a little bit of color on my lips. However, today's color is number 3 Afterlight Pink, which I am currently using. This is sort of a rosy pink color. It has a watery formula and then it dries matte on the lips, and it has a very my lips but better type of finish. It blends in so well with the texture of your lips, but it just makes it look very moisturized, very pigmented, so it'll just go a long way, and easy to blend, easy to blur. If you're eating or drinking, it can last up to 3 hours. Wake Make's Water Blurring Fixing Tint is also quite similar in formula. It's a little bit more affordable. However, I do like the shades in Cleo's a lot more. 3CE's Water Blur Tint is also very similar. Once it dries matte, it does have like a semi-velvety finish. However, it does stay in your lips pretty well. All of the lip products that I reviewed today, they're really good to layer on top of other lip products. I think this one is probably a little bit more tricky because it is watery and dries matte. However, sometimes it does have like a white residue, so just blot it. So I do usually like to use it by itself. Otherwise, I would have a matte base. Alright, so those are my favorite matte lip products slash shades. Definitely had a lot more browns this time. For my intro and outro, I have Smoked Beige as my base and Calm Rosy in the corner of my lips, just in case you're wondering. So anyway, that's all for today's video. I hope that you found it helpful. Definitely let me know in the comments down below your favorite shades. I'll see you in the next video.